What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 11. Top DFS picks.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for this week's NFL slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, NFL Week 11, let's take a look at the quarterback position. So my top DFS pick at the quarterback position is Dak Prescott from the Dallas Cowboys, playing the Minnesota Vikings, who have the 9th worst defense overall. They give up the 9th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, he's only averaged 16.3 fantasy points per game on the season, but he's getting an average of 3.5 rush attempts per game, and he's projected at 18.4 fantasy points here in Week 11, and he's only $6,600 DraftKings salary and only $900 more on FanDuel. And Vegas thinks there's going to be 47.5 points scored in this game, with the Cowboys favored by 1. So Dak Prescott has scored 21, 26, and 12 fantasy points in the last 3 games, and he got 4, 5, and 3 rush attempts in those games. So I think this is a great matchup. We saw CeeDee Lamb explode last week, so I like Dak Prescott here versus the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. So my top DFS pick at the running back position is Saquon Barkley from the New York Giants, playing the Detroit Lions, who have the absolute worst defense overall. They give up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing running backs, and Saquon Barkley has averaged 21.3 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 22 rush attempts per game and 4 pass targets per game. He's on the field for 83% of the snaps, projected at 21.1 fantasy points here in Week 11. He's $8,900 DraftKings salary and $800 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 46 points scored in this game, with the Giants favored by 3.5. Now Saquon Barkley has scored 26, 15, and 21 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 35, 20, and 24 rush attempts on top of 1, 5, and 4 pass targets. So absolute monster volume, fantastic matchup. So I like Saquon Barkley here versus the Detroit Lions.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. Let's save some salary here with this pick. My top DFS pick at the wide receiver position is Darnell Mooney from the Chicago Bears, playing the Atlanta Falcons, who have the 2nd worst defense overall. They give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Darnell Mooney has averaged 8.9 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 5.6 pass targets per game. He's been on the field for 88% of the snaps, projected at 11.3 fantasy points here in Week 11. He's $5,400 DraftKings salary, $600 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 49 points scored in this game, with the Bears trailing by 3. So Darnell Mooney has scored 10, 18, and 12 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 4, 8, and 5 pass targets. So Darnell Mooney has a fantastic matchup. Vegas thinks this is going to be a high-scoring game. And although he only got 4 pass targets last week, still managed to score 10 fantasy points. I think he can get a ton of pass targets here this week against this soft Atlanta Falcons defense. And Vegas has this as a close competitive game. So I like Darnell Mooney here versus the Atlanta Falcons.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL. NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, moving on to the tight end position. My top DFS pick at the tight end position is Dalton Schultz from the Dallas Cowboys, playing the Minnesota Vikings, who have the 9th worst defense overall, and they give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Dalton Schultz has averaged 8.1 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 5.3 pass targets per game. He's been on the field for 74% of the snaps. He's projected at 9.5 fantasy points here in week 11. He's 4,300 DraftKings salary, 1,600 more on FanDuel. We know Vegas thinks there's going to be 47.5 points scored in this game, with the Cowboys favored by 1. Dalton Schultz has scored 17, 13, and 10 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 8, 7, and 5 pass targets. So I like to see that his passing volume is ramping up. Production has been great. He's got a fantastic matchup, and I think he's a good stack with Dak Prescott. So I like Dalton Schultz here versus the Minnesota Vikings.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.